As United's players and staff celebrated in the corner of the Parc des Princes Stadium in the minutes after the final whistle on Wednesday, Angel Di Maria stood motionless in the other half, staring at the pitch. The winger had his back to the scenes of delirium unfolding 70 yards away, but he would have heard the din. Paris Saint-Germain's players looked stunned at what had unfolded in the final minutes of this last 16 tie. It's happened again. Another commanding position in a Champions League tie had been snatched from their grasp, United pulling off a comeback befitting their status as European royalty. Eventually the PSG players dragged themselves back to the dressing room, but Di Maria lingered a little longer. He was one of the last to leave the scene of the crime. A few players, including Di Maria, attempted to head to the ultras, offering an apology rather than thanks for their support. The heckles that followed told them forgiveness wasn't going to be proffered freely. When the Argentine headed down the tunnel, he could have been forgiven for taking a covetous glance at the celebrations still going strong in front of the away end. Di Maria could have been a part of them. He had the talent to make it at United, but he didn't have the desire, he didn't have the heart. Instead, he gave up on his Old Trafford career inside a season. He swapped Manchester for Paris, the historic glory of United for the pointlessness of PSG. All the money in Qatar can't buy PSG what they want, which is what United have. A prestigious history, a name that reverberates around Europe's biggest stadiums, that strikes fear into the hearts of clubs as grand as Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Juventus. They might have gone through a lean patch in the years since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement, but the luster of United has never been lost. Even when struggling for a place in the Premier League's top four, United remained the biggest club in the world. Now they've put themselves back amongst Europe's elite on the pitch. United's players celebrate in front of the away end. How much of a role that history plays in nights like Wednesday will always be debated, but while PSG have no such memories to call on, other than negative ones, United's players know astonishing European comebacks are part of the storied fabric of the club. Their predecessors have done it. Now they want to follow in those footsteps, to write their own history at Old Trafford. That's something PSG can only dream of. Coming out to warm up to Queen's We Will Rock You said everything about the club. Plastic of Paris. Now they must wait another year for a crack at the only prize that matters to them. Di Maria may hang around, but beyond money, what is keeping the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Neymar in Paris? Certainly not League One. They've turned the domestic league into a procession thanks to the millions and millions they've spent. Those medals are worthless. With Europe over, PSG return to domestic duty next week. It's Dijon away. Thomas Tuchel's side are 17 points clear at the top with a game in hand, 51 points ahead of their opponents. What's the point? It's a glorified training session. Meanwhile, United have the Champions League quarter-final draw to look forward to, a trip to Arsenal in the Premier League this weekend and an FA Cup quarter-final as well. Most footballers would give a limb to play for a club of the stature of United. Di Maria gave up on that.